Hello, hello. I hope that you all are having a fantastic morning, day, evening, whenever you're watching this video. I hope that, there is a lot of positivity going on around you today. There's a lot of positivity going around me today. It's a nice sunny Sunday that I'm recording this on. I think that we're finally out of this, like a majority of the winter weather that we've been receiving in Michigan. So I think that we're finally starting to move into that spring season, which is really exciting for a lot of reasons, mostly for the fact that once the weather gets warmer, I can start doing more with my videos because the only reason that I don't really do much right now is that it has been freezing cold, which isn't an excuse. But anyway, here we are. So if you've seen one of my videos before, welcome back. And if you're new to my videos, my name is McKenna. I own a digital media company called studiosbcreatives. And for those of you who don't know me, lately I've been making a lot of videos about, tips and tricks for businesses and their content creation. I've made a couple videos about my camera setup and what it is that I do personally. But a lot of my content over the past couple weeks has been in relation to mindset and talking about different thought processes to get you closer to your goals and reaching success. And I've stated a bunch of different ideas. I've talked about different ideas from the books that I read and the conversations that I have and hear. But there's one thing that I haven't really discussed on the topic of mindset and success attainment, if you will. And that idea would be the importance of discipline. What I mean by discipline is the ability to wake up every day, regardless of how you feel, and do what you need to do to get closer to your goals. A lot of people act on, like these quick little spurts of ambition or little ideas that lose a lot of their momentum almost immediately after their conception. And that's because you're most excited to do something when you first think about it. I know I am as a creative. If I have like a photo shoot idea or something, like if I don't do it right there in that moment, the excitement to do it just kind of dies down. Whereas when you have discipline, no matter how you're feeling, no matter how much time has passed, no matter what kind of mental state you're in, you can keep doing the things that you need to do. You're not just acting on your wants. You're actually acting upon this force within inside yourself that allows you to get things done and operate even when you're having a rough day or you're stressed out or whatever. I mean, that's why I keep making these videos. I don't always have an idea. I don't always want to sit down and make a video and talk to a camera for 15, 20, 30 minutes. But I have a goal in my mind that allows me to come back every single week and record something and do something because I've built up the discipline to get things done because I have goals for myself. I have ambitions. I have things that I want to do and I know what I need to do to get there. And I can't be passive about that because the minute you start breaking those streaks, the minute you start breaking that discipline is the moment that things start falling apart. Like I didn't have a video idea for this week and I've been thinking about it, thinking about it, thinking about it and thinking about it. And I finally came up with this idea. But if I hadn't, I could have said, okay, you know what? I'm going to take a week off this week. The weather's getting nice. Maybe I'll do something nice next week. But it's like, what stops you from doing that again and again and again and again until you no longer do the thing that you want to do at all? Like back in January, I started going to the gym and I've been going back 6 days a week, every week for almost 3 months. I use the gym in my building and it's not that great. Like the equipment is kind of meh. But my friends are like, why don't you just go out and buy a gym membership and, go do these things and that thing? I'm like, because I want to build up the discipline of going. I want to prove to myself that I'm not just doing this as a phase. It's not, I don't want it to be some short term thing. Like, I want to know within inside myself that I can go for an extended period of time so that I'm not wasting my time, for one, or my money. Discipline, discipline, discipline. That is the single most important driving factor to get you from where you are to where you want to be. I don't care what anybody says. If you don't have that discipline, you will fault on yourself. You will allow a headache, a cold, a bad day, a negative comment. You will let those things ruin what you've worked so hard to build. Like, discipline is being able to tell yourself, I'm going to do this, and no matter what happens to me, I'm going to keep doing it, and I'm going to keep being persistent and consistent, and I'm going to keep doing it day after day after day, or time after time after time. And I feel like that's where a lot of people fail in their lives. Like, they might have a good mindset, they might be ambitious, they might work really, really hard. But if they only work really, really hard when it's convenient or when they feel like working really, really hard, that just leaves all this empty space for them to waste whatever other potential they could have had. Like, one of the best quotes I've heard in relation to maintaining discipline is that always give 100%. Even if one day all your top, your tank is tapped out at 10%, if you give 100% of that 10%, you will have given 100% that day. I hope that makes sense. I hope that you can kind of understand what I'm going for there. So it's like, even if you're having a bad day, or if you have a cold and you're only operating at half the capacity that you would operate at on a perfect day, if you give everything you've got, even if it's only this much that you can give, if you give this much, you've done all that you can do. That is what's most important in maintaining that discipline. This also ties into another quote, one that I relay to a friend of mine very, very often, because he's somebody that I push really hard to be better and do better and think bigger, and he doesn't like to. And I'm starting to get to the point where you can only help somebody so much before they have to help themselves. But he's one of those people who constantly talks about what he wants to do, but never actually does those things. And that's because he lacks discipline. My favorite quote to tell him is that words without action mean nothing. They are empty promises that you have made to yourself. And if you're going to let anybody down in your life, don't let it be you. Do what you have to do to put you in a better position every single day. Because at the end of the day, you're really the only person who's ever going to fully be there for you. And if you can't even rely on yourself, how can you expect to rely on other people, for one? But how can you expect them to rely on you? No matter what you do in your life, no matter how big your goals are, no matter how badly you want something, no matter how much you talk about it, like, you can manifest all you want, but unless you actually act on those words and act on those wants, you're not going to get any closer to those goals and dreams. And if once you finally do act and you quit after 5 minutes because it didn't work out and you don't build up that discipline, you're never going to have anything at all. If you don't build up the discipline to try, even on those harder days, like, you're going to let those bad days, those negative feelings, you're going to let those dictate the rest of your future. And that's just not how that should be, man. Discipline is so important, because it does not let emotion and subjective feelings get in the way. Discipline is what allows you to focus on what you need to focus on and get done what you need to get done, regardless of outside influence. And that is why, once you build up the discipline, you are an absolute powerhouse. And I think that if you ask anybody in a successful position, they will tell you a couple different factors about what contribute to their success. I can't guarantee what all of those things would be, but I can guarantee at least one of them, no matter who you ask, is going to be discipline. So with that being said, if you are somebody who's lacking discipline to get things done, start on small scales. Start with things that are achievable, that no matter what happens, you can knock those things out every single day, twice a week, whatever it is, whatever consistent schedule you want to get on to build that discipline, start doing those things. It doesn't matter what it is. And then once you start getting in the swing of things, you can start building more on top of that. You can start doing harder tasks. You can start doing more and more things to get you to where you want to be with that discipline. Like, it might start with reading one single page on a book a day, and then you might move it to 2 pages, 5 pages, a chapter a day, whatever it is. Like, start small, start doable, and then just build on it. And some people have the ability to jump right into, the bigger things. Sometimes all they need is a little kick in the ass. It all depends on the person. But if you want to start seeing changes in your life, you actually have to go out and do those things and make those changes yourself, because nobody's going to make them for you, for one. But you also have to make sure that you are able to keep doing those things even when the odds are against you, even when they don't seem like they're working out. Like, you have to be persistent and you have to be able to get through every single day, good or bad. So that's where I'm going to leave you today. If you found this video helpful, exciting, or it spoke to you in any way, go ahead and leave me a comment. If you want to see more content like this, or you want to see what fun things I get up to in the future, go ahead and subscribe. Also, leave me a thumbs up on this video, boost the algorithm a little bit. I hope that you all have a wonderful rest of your day, and I will see you on the next one.